staying with that story, the violence that broke out in KZN and Gauteng in 2021 still haunts many that lost family members and livelihoods. Over 350 people died in the July unrest, while hundreds of businesses were looted and infrastructure destroyed. Let's go to eNCA's Lethiwe Mdluli, who is on Queen Nandi Drive in Durban, where a lot of the violence happened. Lethiwe, what has been the response from people there who were affected by the looting those 2 years ago?
Well, Masako, today we actually started off in Umlazi and also went to KwaMashu, speaking to residents there about the impact that the looting has caused. Of course, we are marking the second year after the looting took place in the country. And in speaking to the people, they were just saying that they've realized or they've noticed that following the looting, a lot of things have gone up, such as food, petrol. So they are saying that the looting had a negative impact on the country, and while we were speaking to them, they also spoke about how their businesses were affected as well, saying that for them they lost out on a lot of customers at the time. But as you mentioned, Maseko, right now we are on Queen Nandi Drive. I want to show you this area because at the time of the looting it was a hive of activity. We saw a lot of people basically breaking into distribution centers here in Durban, and they were basically just taking whatever they could at the time, things such as appliances, food, and we saw a lot of police being outnumbered by these people. You'd remember that the motorists couldn't even walk or drive through the street because a lot of streets were blocked off in Durban. We have footage of what happened in the streets, and we saw like thousands of looters just basically closing it off and stealing things from distribution centers. From the looks of things now, it looks like a lot of businesses have recovered, but there are a few businesses that are still rebuilding from the looks of things following the looting. It's been 2 years after it, and we do know that our economy was impacted by the looting a lot, not just in KwaZulu-Natal, but in South Africa as a whole. When I spoke to an Uber driver in KwaMashu about the impacts and how they were affected as residents and also as people who are self-employed, this is what he had to say.
All right, let's see where we actually don't have that snippet of the interview that you had a little earlier on, but thank you for summarizing what he said. And you are at a place that was looted, I believe, there in Durban. Just tell me, if you did cover that part of Durban during the July unrest 2 years ago, you know, how it looked then during the unrest and how it's looking now.
Well, Masako, we were moving around the city when the looting was taking place, and we were located at Queen Nandi Drive. I remember that we couldn't even move around. We had to park our car very far from here and walk all the way because the streets were blocked off, and there were a lot of people that just wanted to take whatever they could from the distribution centers that are located here. It's not only this area that was impacted. We also went to the south, or the southern part of Durban. There are also distribution centers in Umbilo and close to Clearwood as well. We were located there for the duration of the looting as well, and we saw people making off with food, appliances. It was basically just a mess. And what we also noticed is that a lot of police officers were outnumbered and they couldn't handle the situation at the time. With the help of the soldiers, though, we remember that they came in and it looked like they were able to destabilize the situation. But unfortunately, in areas such as Phoenix, you'd remember that a lot of people lost their lives because some residents took it upon themselves to try and protect their areas. And during that time, the whole situation got racial, and a lot of people, as a result, lost their lives. Here in Durban, I remember at least 36 people lost their lives during the looting and the rioting that took place. And overall, as a country, I remember government releasing those statistics saying that at least 300 people lost their lives as a result. So it was a very devastating time for the province of KwaZulu-Natal and also the province of Gauteng, because shortly after the riots started here in Durban and in KwaZulu-Natal overall, they then spilled over to Gauteng, and we saw a lot of shopping centers also being impacted. Some communities took it upon themselves to protect those shopping centers, but not all of them. I mean, here in Durban, a lot of shopping centers are still reeling after the looting. They are still rebuilding. When we were in KwaMashu, we went to Bridge City Shopping Center. It just recently opened following or after 2 years of being shut down. So a lot of people's jobs were impacted, and as a result, the economy was impacted as well.
All right, Lethiwe Mdluli live for us there on Queen Nandi Drive in Durban. Thank you. Let's leave it there for now. In fact, I remember also covering the Gauteng leg of the unrest. Now was stationed in Alexandra, and that was one of the first places that the soldiers had to sweep in on after days of looting in that area.